Yes, my guys, it is here. It is time. It's not time for your stimulus check. No, not even your pizza. Well, yeah, go check your pizza and come back because it's gonna be a while. Okay, let me just get back to business. Gran Turismo, a game that has pushed the bar in graphics and driving and car culture, released 25 years ago, and is still the heart of many car enthusiasts and also created many of them. Gran Turismo also has been head of the competition, and it has a creator with an epic vision of providing the best driving simulator for racing fans, and fans of car culture like himself, the one and only Kazunori Yamauchi, otherwise known as Kaz, the father of Gran Turismo, Big Papi, Alright, my bad. So we all know how big the GT games were, well, how big they are, and GT4 is one of the most beloved, but for people like me, GT5 is something that was really special. The extensive car collection, tuning, online community, and the track maker, yes, the track maker, which gave us the ability to make point-to-point courses too. A lot of times if you make a track, it would just be a loop, right? But GT5, GT6, it was making them point-to-point races. So those things kept the car culture in GT5 thriving for years. And then people were making drag races, pink slip races, Touge, NASCAR, rally, drift, it was all there. There was a petition to keep the servers up when GT6 was coming out, but sadly the servers were cut anyway. And same for GT6, which is also a good game, but it didn't really hit like GT5 did. And then you got GT Sport coming into the picture with different visions from the regular main entries. This time the game was focused on esports racing and FIA certified championships. This felt like a letdown to many classic GT fans, but honestly we have to admit that Kaz's big vision of making the ultimate real driving simulator, being FIA certified, and not to mention being in the damn Olympics, is definitely a huge achievement for the racing sim, and probably an inevitable goal he was looking for. Partnering with companies like Michelin and even Getty Images is definitely a huge W for the GT series. And being that GT releases are so far apart, the Touge community in GT Sport is currently filled with young teens, and they're around like 14 or 16, just getting into Gran Turismo for the first time, and probably about 9 or so when GT6 came out, and even younger when GT5 dropped. So needless to say, they missed out on the true beauty of older Gran Turismo games, and they're definitely going to get hit with full force when GT comes out. So on the GT website it reads that GT7 was in development to provide an in-depth retrospect of the past 150 years of automotive history, highlighting everything from production cars, concept vehicles, and race machines. It continues to convey the same values of the first Gran Turismo, which was released 25 years ago, but in a much broader, all-encompassing fashion, with the intent to not only satisfy die-hard GT fans, but also attract a new generation of players who are just learning about cars. So this part right here, that part, is honestly music to me, bro, because seeing everything in GT so far, it really looks like that's the case, and that's the way they're going. And it also says, the campaign mode of GT7 will again be a place where players embark on unique journeys throughout the entire Gran Turismo world to create their own individual experiences. And I love that it says create their own individual experiences, because that's exactly what GT does for people, and that's exactly what we did. You know, throughout the years, people have been inspired by the street racing culture of Japan and made role-playing Wangan lobbies, remaking Touge tracks from Initial D and original home courses to defend, creating replica cars of popular cars in the street racing culture and in general, all while making their own builds too. You got people who went to the Oval, had them dirty NASCAR races, run them NASCAR lobbies, and tracks with long straights, so you just drag strips, tested their tunes, had pink slip races. That was possible because it had the gift feature on the early GT games. You could send cars to people, and you know, potentially you could have your own little tuning shop You have people that want a specific car, you know, and with the used car dealership, there's certain cars people don't have. So you'd be like, okay, you want that car? I'll tune it for you and I'll send it to you. These weren't necessarily game modes featured in the game, but it's definitely things that was brought to life by everyone's individual experiences and interests coming together to formulate probably one of the best, most engaging and fun driving communities ever for years. And community organizers like the Lots, or Legend of the Streets, otherwise known as Federation of Street Racers, that's something that was like really big for the community, and it had a bunch of leaders that was creating tracks and keeping the community going and stuff. And then our team, our entertainment stuff from Kaido Motorsport, our Street Legends brand, that came out a little later, but still the whole community was thriving and it was pretty good. And now that we got, you know, GT7 on the way, it's time to look at that trailer, you know. First time, I'll just let it play through, and then the second time I'm gonna break it down and stop it and all that stuff so we can go through it. Okay, let's get started. At PlayStation Studios, boy. Alright, right from the start you get hit with the organs, and then you can tell if you ever played the older GTs, you know they playing that Moon Over the Castle, boy. And then if you look back to the GT1 opening. You can see it's pretty much a like-to-like comparison. If you look here, you can see everything is pretty much the same, just looks a lot better now. Oof, look at the engine, man. And then this part here, bro, I thought was actually the video, like, but some sort of weird distorted effect, and it was gonna like transition into what the gameplay was. But nah, that was actually just the reflection in the car. That high quality shook me. And you see it zoom out, and then of course you got the classic scene, but this time in a Porsche. And it looks like there's snow. It was actually snow. I mean, there was snow in the other one, but who knows? Maybe this time we might maybe get dynamic scapes this time. Oh boy, them GR86s, bro, is like lit in low light. It seems to have fog too, so it might be a new feature in escapes, but we're gonna have to see. But that would be pretty epic, not gonna lie. Classic cars, man. And then, okay, if you look here, you can see what's called the GT world map, and the icons look a little different than what was revealed last year. But you know, going from what they said last year, all of the options that's there should be like championships, missions, GT world, special events, discover, scapes, GT Café, school, brand central, and GT auto, tuning shops, and used cars. But some of the names, you know, it might be different when the game actually dropped, but you know, we'll see. But pretty much it's like the same thing from what it looks like, almost like to like with GT4, just a little different. But now this time it's like a whole rendering, and it's like rain, like water and everything there, so that's pretty cool. I don't know, maybe some people would have liked the other way better, but I'm for it, I don't mind. Here you can see now there's actually like some info displayed regarding the position of the decals when you're editing a layer. So that'll help if you're trying to make perfect shapes and replicas of cars, so you know the exact positioning and rotation of each decal. And you can also change the opacity, so that's a cool feature to have. Maybe it could be used to like make dust easier or something, or you know, maybe like faded paint. But it's up to your creativity. I'm not really the best at making liveries and nothing like that. So the UI for this, it looks pretty clean. It also looks like it's going to be easier to make the colors for the decals and the paint. So, and there's a few tabs to cycle through, so you'll see there might be some colors to unlock. Maybe there's a space for colors that you created, who knows. But it also looks like you can favorite some of the colors, so you can just go to them easily instead of always cycling through. So that's a pretty dope feature. Windows and windshield banners are now included as editing areas. Let's go. Always wanted to you know, like rep the team or something, or rep a company on your window, and that's pretty cool that you can do that now. It was like pretty, because you can do that in most other racing games. You can do that in Need for Speed and all that, but now you can do it in GT too. Also, when you're editing a decal, there's a low speed option, which seems like it just means like it'll slow the movement down, so you can place the stuff exactly where you want it, instead of just trying to like slowly move the analog stick and hope you put it at the right spot. Because I know, like, especially if you got stick drift and you're trying to do that, and then thing just jerks to the side, and you're like, man, and then you gotta go back and try to put it back in the right spot. So this is a W, this is a win. And I don't know if you noticed, but they actually have the Brembo on the brake calipers. I think it just comes with that, with the custom. If you upgrade to like custom brake calipers, it's probably like the best one, and then it'll just have the logo on there, so that's pretty dope. Another quality of life fix with the livery editor is that they actually put the discover section inside of the livery editor, so you don't have to like leave and grab a decal you missed, like, oh man, what's that decal, or you just can't find it, you gotta scroll all the way down the list or whatever. You can just search it up and you just put it right on, and you have the collection right all there. It's just, bro. And alright, so it just transitioned here into the racing, and that might just be all it is, a transition to the racing. But for me, it looks like the decals won't take that much of a resolution hit when you get into the actual race, because it looked like it's about the same resolution. So if it is, that's pretty good. Alright. Alright, yes sir, you know I'm finna spend the rest of my life here. Not let me stop. But if you look here, we got over 2,600 spots to take pics in. And most likely we'll be getting more after the game releases, which be dope. That'd be dope. There's plenty of GT Sport locations that's in the game again, along with some classic locations like Tahiti. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And some new courses, of course. My guy, this made me so happy to see, because now you can have a setting to automatically blur the background when you're taking scapes and adjust the camera height. And I can't stress enough how annoying it was being in the scapes and having like some weird angle to shoot from, and you can only like pan and look in the scene, but you can't move the camera. So that was annoying. And also trying to like blur the background if you have multiple cars in the thing, and you adjust the aperture, and it could be a car next to the car that you want in focus, but it's not. It's like kind of out of focus or whatever, blah blah blah. It's just not, you know, not proper. But now if you can just use the background thing, you don't even have to worry about that. It'll just only blur the background, so that's good. But my question is, can it do something like that for the actual race mode? Like if you're racing, can it make it more easy to take shots with multiple cars and have the cars in focus and just blur the background? Because if you could do that, that'd be epic. But it might be something they could do in that new replay mode, but I'll talk about that later. Got a wing on that Supra, you know, some random wing. But yeah, Aero modifications confirmed. Let's go. And then here you can see we got some properly named, well, I think that Mangsta is actually Mangusta or something like that. But anyways, we got some properly named legendary cars here. And, you know, like the Tom Supra, clearly one of those good cars. You see them, it's good to see them in the game. Some more classic cars here, but what I'm looking at is some cars under the sheets, and it's possible that it's a Shelby Cobra in one of them, but the other ones is really up in the air. Maybe you guys can try to figure that out, but I'm not really too sure. And then if we stop here and look, you'll see that this is a cool heritage GTR family pick, you know, confirming that we got, you know, more scapes, so we can take pictures with more than just 3 cars. But it also looks like that cafe in the picture is the cafe that we get in the game, and that's why I did that transition into there. So my speculation on that is that maybe we can have a few of our best photos to display in there, and I can't make out what car that is in the booklet. I'm not really sure, but it looks like that menu that you can see in one of these screenshots here about collecting cars and stuff. So there may be more to that cafe we don't know about yet, but it looks pretty dope to me, and it kind of gives me like a test drive vibes or something. I don't know. And beautiful sunset, and the lighting is just so freaking good in this game, man. All right, so these world circuits thing, I think it's just like a collection of events on certain tracks in the game for you to complete, but I don't think that's just all of the tracks in that region, but we'll see. High speed ring, Tsukuba circuit, looking good. You stop here, you can see the rain, right? And it got the track damp and dark, but if you look closely, right, you can see on the right there's some raindrops that drop a little bit. So it's definitely also confirming that there's dynamic weather, because the track is completely soaked, but there's only a few raindrops coming down. So it was definitely after a period of time that was going on. Tuning and customization, beautiful sight to see. Parts and more parts for you to buy for your car. And if you look on the right, you see the condition of the car you're currently using, and it can get engine wear. You need to change your oil, strengthen your chassis. Of course, your car can just get dirty. And you look at this screenshot here, you can see more info on the stuff that you can change, like the wide body and all that stuff. It's gonna be so freaking amazing, bro. It's cool to see the BHP and KG as units. It's pretty nice to see. Some car enthusiasts in GT Sport would be wanting to do some runs in the Touge cars, but no, they just only say the the power of the car instead of knowing the actual specs, or you know, reading out the specs of their car, because you know the power and the weight, the car, the tuning, and the driver all make a difference in these runs. So you should definitely read out your specs when you're trying to race somebody, so you can get an idea of the car's performance. And then whatever you make of the driver, that's just you, but you should know the general idea of how the car is going to perform. But enough ranting on that. We can see all the parts that were pretty much used back in GT5 is coming into GT7, so we can make our ultimate builds. Not to mention there's like 4 tabs of parts to buy, so it'll be interesting to see how far the customization will go in GT7. One speculation I have on this is that all these parts that are shown here are in the semi-racing tab, but it looks possible that the racing or extreme tabs might have engines for us to buy and swap into our cars. Maybe, I don't know. And here it says the custom parts, right? And then custom parts wing is the subcategory we're in for customizing the car. So I'm hoping that means there's tons of different options and ways that we can customize the car altogether. As you can see them showing off that the car can have preset wings to select from, either remove the wings from cars that have them from factory, or use a custom wing set. So that reminds me of GT6 when we would just have the wings and we have parts that we could select together, type A, B, whatever, and put them together off the base and the wing itself. And so that should be cool. And another thing I would want to see if like boost gauges coming back into the game. Oof, that'd be nice. Yeah, again with the tabs, there's 4 whole tabs with the wheel section and the car customization, so that gets me hyped. So if it's just one section just showing the tire width and the offset and the size, pretty good news right there, because that's only one tab. We can really get in depth, we can really stand out our cars and all that. I can't wait to see something like that. Look here, you can see an engine right on the bottom left corner of the screen, and it looks like this transition is to show you the stuff, all the stuff you can customize through that understeer tuning company thing. So if it's showing an engine there, it might mean that you can do engine swaps. I don't know, maybe we'll see. Right here it looks like this is a GR Supra, and as it rolls away you can see the diffuser change in the back. But it would also be cool if you can add a flat floor to your cars too. But we're gonna have to see about that. Pretty cool. And I think it was just showing like the detail that they put into the car models, and just showing off another section of the GT Auto. But yeah, all that's pretty dope. Oh, Evo 5 confirmed. Yes, sir. My bad. And if you look on the bottom left, you can see that surface measure where you can see how wet the surface is. So that should confirm that there's going to be dynamic surface wetness on the tracks when you got the weather going, so that'll be cool. And you got an epic race between the classic JGTC cars going around Trial Mountain Circuit. That's cool to see. Ooh, they showed the 86s at Autopolis, whatever you say. Loving it. And you got these cars going by, and that looks cool and everything, but it reminds me of how it is. Alright, so it looks like someone's holding the camera and recording that section right there. It looks like it also zoomed in the same way that it glitches out in GT Sport when you're on the variable camera mode and you switch to a different car, or if it's glitching out and you try to press triangle to change the camera view and it just zooms in. That's exactly what it looks like. And maybe you guys know what I'm talking about, but what it did just there looks like that's new. It looked like that was actually in the game. It might be from the replay mode, but I'll talk about that later. Oh my goodness, bro, the lighting is just so good, bro. Like, look at these freaking cars. S15 confirmed, boy. S15. Alright, available March 4th, right? Hopefully. No, it's a planned release, we'll see. It better come out March 1st. March 4th. Anyway, I mentioned a few times earlier that there's probably a video editor or some sort of new replay mode in GT7. I say this because there's actually an article out there of PD showing it off back in like December 2018. You know, I'm just going to show a few moments of it. I'm just going to show a few moments of the clip. And I'll link the video in the description so you can watch the whole thing. But yeah, bro, take a look at this.
Gran Turismo Sport is a platform for esports. We feel that we can do something new with this platform. On the PlayStation 4 part. So the scene itself is now rendered in real time. We can interact with it. For example, by moving a camera, we can see the race from a different viewpoint. Variations. Okay, so there's a car. You want to get in this car, right? We can do that actually. We're going to use the PlayStation VR for that. Okay, so the guy over there. Okay, so the guy over there is virtually sitting in this car with
like vignetting or car grading or motion blur as well. I want to add insert one more card. So making a new camera and looking through something like.
So looking how epic that was and that they were showing that way back in 2018, there's good reason to believe that it's going to be a feature in GT7. And you know, another thing that would be nice is a track maker. And you know, although we haven't really gotten any word on that, there's still some hope because PD's shown off a patent of procedurally generated cities that could be used for creating original street tracks. And I'll also link the article to that in there, but you can see from these screenshots, from these pictures right here, you can see that there was like showing off just making these random cities or whatever. So hopefully, you know, that'll be some part of the game that we can use, be some feature in the game, because we all want a track maker. This game will last way longer if we have a track maker, but we'll see. And even if it's a city track, I guess that's okay. But you know, alright, so for what I want in the game, I definitely want Pikes Peak. I want Gunsai. I want Akina. It might put maybe Akagi too. Throw Akagi in there. Uzi Pass. There definitely need to be like a best motoring Initial D Gran Turismo collab. And I commented bring Touge back, and I tagged DK and Gran Turismo in the post when they dropped the trailer, and then DK actually liked the comment. So you know, maybe that's a good omen. Maybe one day, you know, because Forza or whatever, they got the Top Gear thing. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But if we can get Gunsai, if we can get that best motoring Gran Turismo collab, bro, I swear, there's really, it's gonna be something crazy. But we'll see. And we had the Shigeno 86, right? And from like GT5, GT6, and that's been in there. And they always paid homage to Initial D. And even in GT Sport, we have some of the Initial D Scapes locations in the game. So hopefully there will be a best motoring collab, and we'll see that. And there was even a best motoring video of DK playing GT Sport, and he was trying the 86 GT. I forget which model it was, but he was driving that, and he was going around Tsukuba Circuit. So I'm like, oh cool, it's gonna be a best motoring and GT collab. But no news on that. We'll see. I'll link the video to that in the description too. I'll link everything I'm talking about in the description. So anyways, I feel like I kept you long enough, so I'm gonna let you guys go. And thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're excited for GT7 as I am. So please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you want. You know, you can see more content from me. If you hit that notification bell, you get notified every time I drop a video. It'll be stuff either from like GTA, Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, etc. Oh yeah, and Assetto Corsa. So I hope you enjoy those. Make sure to follow the socials, stay in touch. You'll see all the content I make. And there's also my Patreon if you want, you know, like high-res screenshots of Gran Turismo and Assetto Corsa. You can like set them as wallpapers or something. You know, it helps out the channel or whatever. My channel ain't really that big or anything, so any little help, you know, it's really appreciated. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys again next time on the next Dragon Balls. Alright, I'm kidding. I'll see you guys later.